In the world of cinema, few technologies have captured the imagination quite like the IMAX camera. Its towering presence and unparalleled visual fidelity have transformed the way we experience movies. The story of IMAX cameras begins in the late 1960s with a group of Canadian filmmakers envisioning a new way to immerse audiences in the magic of cinema. Developed by Graham Ferguson, Roman Coitor, Robert Kerr, and William C. Shaw, the IMAX camera was born out of a desire to push the boundaries of visual storytelling. Throughout the years, the IMAX camera has been used to capture some of the most breathtaking moments in cinematic history, from the sweeping landscapes of nature documentaries to the heart-pounding action of Hollywood blockbusters. IMAX has left an indelible mark on the world of film. In 1976, a groundbreaking documentary, Tiger Child, became the first film to be shot entirely with IMAX cameras, offering audiences a glimpse into the beauty and majesty of the natural world. In the years that followed, filmmakers continued to push the boundaries of what was possible with IMAX technology. In 2008, Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight made cinematic history with its stunning IMAX sequences, immersing audiences in the heart-pounding action of Gotham City like never before. Nolan would once again harness the power of IMAX for his epic war film, Dunkirk, transporting viewers to the heart of World War II with breathtaking realism. And in 2020, Nolan pushed the boundaries of IMAX filmmaking once again, with Tenet, utilizing the format to deliver mind-bending action on a global scale. Again, in 2023, director Christopher Nolan shot Oppenheimer using IMAX, giving the film an entire dimension of depth and size. We hear directors and cinephiles talk about how cool IMAX is, and they mostly talk about size and resolution. So let's dive into what in the world IMAX is and what makes it different from shooting on your phone, for example. First, we have to understand that not all IMAX are created equal. We have IMAX film and IMAX digital. Digital IMAX has a lot of subcategories. Among the categories within digital IMAX, we have IMAX digital cameras and IMAX certified cameras. The first are cameras made to shoot digital IMAX, like the Arri Alexa IMAX camera and the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 12K. These cameras have a set of specifications fixed by IMAX, the company, like high resolution and the iconic aspect ratio. Then we have the certified ones, which could be the Arri Alexa LF. Now, the thing with these certified cameras is that none of them from the list are 12K. The highest it gets is 8K with the Panavision Millennium DXL2 or the Red V Raptor. My issue with digital IMAX is that aside from the seal of approval by IMAX Corporation, I don't feel it makes any difference. The aspect ratio can just be simulated by setting it up in your desired editing software, and that's it. IMAX. Now, there are other aspects involved in the certification. I'm not saying it's useless. What I'm saying is that it almost feels like it's a marketing gimmick. What doesn't feel like a marketing gimmick is real 70mm IMAX. This is something new. First, it has 15 perforations horizontally. Let me show you an image of a regular 35mm or 70mm film versus IMAX 70mm film. There's a massive difference between them. Even the projectors have to work differently, since they're used to vertical perforations. Those perforations are the way the quote-unquote teeth grab onto the film to move it along. Analog film, unlike digital, doesn't have resolution. That's why we can get 4K remasters of old movies shot in 35mm, and they look stunning. Although some say IMAX 70mm is comparable to 18K, there is a massive difference between the maximum 8K that digital IMAX can achieve, or a smaller difference compared to the Blackmagic Ursa Mini Pro 12K. So, if IMAX 70mm is so much better than digital IMAX, then why doesn't everyone film like that? Well, it comes down to several aspects, such as logistics and time, but mostly about money. And after all, it's an industry and the producers are in to make a pretty penny. Shooting with film is already more expensive as it is, even 35mm. For example, during the shooting of La La Land, the director had to cut one day from shooting and they had to rearrange the rehearsals and all of that to allow the movie to stay within budget. That's how expensive using film can get. The cost is not just renting the cameras, but film is expensive. The cost may vary per region, but generally a roll of film is around $400 in 2024. And each roll renders you about 11 minutes of shooting. Take into account the fact that there are more than one take and there are reshoots. And that's for regular 35mm. Now for an IMAX film, from what I could find online, it can cost around $1,000 per minute to shoot IMAX film. And that's a number from 2017. To that, you have to add the cost of revealing the film and scanning it, which is usually done at 4K. That's terabytes of storage for a single film. Then there's the cost for movie theaters to have the IMAX film projectors. In summary, it's expensive. That's why digital IMAX exists. It's still not as cheap, but it's way cheaper than IMAX film. Talking about movie theaters, have you ever been in more than one IMAX theater? Does it feel like they are somehow different? Well, let me tell you that like digital IMAX, not every theater is created equal. Some are smaller than others. They are usually called in the industry LieMAX. They're still bigger than regular multiplex screens, but not every theater is gonna be as impressive as IMAX 70mm. That's just the sad truth. There are only 30 theaters in the world capable of showing true 70mm IMAX. What we get elsewhere is just digital IMAX. It is bigger and higher-ish resolution, but not as impressive. And I'll put on the screen the different types of digital IMAX projections that you can get depending on the theater that you go to. The reality is that IMAX is a very expensive technology in every single step of the production and distribution. Whether or not it's worth it depends on the director. I personally think that navigating all those categories and subcategories makes it a bit confusing, and it almost feels like they don't want us to know that there's a difference between all of those. The technology is cool and it provides a unique experience to the viewer. In a movie such as Oppenheimer, you can really feel immersed in the film. That's a great experience. And even the gimmicky digital IMAX is good to attract audiences to the theaters and not just have them watch the movie on HBO or Netflix on their tiny phone screens. From its humble beginnings to its current status as a cornerstone of modern cinema, IMAX technology continues to captivate the audiences and inspire filmmakers around the world. As technology evolves and new innovations emerge, one thing remains certain: the magic of cinema will continue to dazzle and delight audiences from generations to come. As always, thank you for watching. See you next time.